Friday afternoon, my man. How you doing?
That's a good look. What do you have? Two shirts on there and a hat. What do you got going on there? I can't quite make it out. Is that just a colored collar? What's
the best defense is a good offense. Because I was going to hit you with you're kind of buttoned up today for a Friday afternoon. I mean, we got no TV to do, and yet you look like you're in a relatively starched shirt. But I'll answer your question.
Well, so answer my question. Then I want to ask you: is that a Schweppes ginger ale over your right shoulder, or what is?
Okay,
what do you got?
No, let's get into that. Let's get into that after This is what we call a ringer tee, and this is where you literally have a ring here. I've got a ring here. I've got a ring here.
Wow.
I think at one point they were blue, and
bleach will do that.
One fateful day in the laundry is what happened. I got my Jonathan's Grill cap, a great restaurant down in Nashville, and guys that have a great string of restaurants. Salute them. And let's talk about this. This is actually a Schweppes orange seltzer. And
I knew it was Schweppes though. That was a good pull by me.
Yeah.
Schweppes orange. Is it sweetened or is it just
come
flavor?
On, bro. Why would I go with a sweetened with aspartame?
You double broed me there, which is very aggressive. You broed and then you started with a bro. I mean,
well, actually, I didn't realize it was bro squared, and that I think you lose a little something when you bro too much. But when I buddy pal you, I think I get somewhere. The flavored drinks, and there's nothing worse than going into a store thinking you're getting a flavored seltzer, and in fact you've got something that's just all artificial sweeteners, because I'm not about the artificial sweeteners guy.
Well, maybe you should read the labels prior to purchasing. I also notice over your left shoulder you have what appears to be the chalkboard or some sort of whiteboard.
So this is the war room, right? So this is where
I mean you got it all good. Got it all going on there,
right? 3.1443, whatever. Look. Okay, so you're coming at me. You're obviously feeling a little bit emotional going
Friday.
Into the weekend.
It's been, I tell you, this has been just a ridiculous. For some reason, it's been a wacky week. The market's down 300, up 300 today. For whatever reason, market opens lower. It looks like we're about to close here on the high. It's madness.
We're going to.
You wonder what it's saying. I mean, Vol still look. It's not 35, but it's still 26.5, 27, which is still elevated based on where we were 7 or 8 months ago. You just wonder what's in store over the next couple of weeks.
Well, it's interesting what a normalized vol environment would be. This is not the wonderful show Options Action, but when we talk about volatility, when you look at long-term realized volatility, it's somewhere around 22, 23%. If you're looking back over the last 30 years. But since the Fed entered the fray, largely post-crisis, average 30-day vol was somewhere around, I want to say 14, 15, right? And so we're in an elevated vol environment for obvious reasons. And the question is, with the Fed still around and the Fed supposedly dampening volatility, is this a very ominous sign? I mean, take Apple. Apple had a intraday volatility of north of 4%, and many days, I think half of those days or more, are north of 5-6%. This is the largest company in the world that's trading like a penny stock. And yes, it's up days, it's down days, and it's had a good share of both of them. So, I do look. We know that there's a lot of uncertainty in markets, maybe more uncertainty than we've had in a long time. And I think the where the market has come from going into this period has everything to do with how it's reacting right now. Because let's face it, August was Shangri-La. There was nothing wrong with the world. There was nothing wrong with stocks. There was nothing wrong with valuations. And then we got to a place where there was a bit of a wake-up call. So I appreciate the fact you're feeling a little worn out, pal.
Mm-hmm. And I think you bring up volatility. Where would it be based on the Fed not being around? It's interesting. Again, the vol right here is twice what it was when we made a prior all-time high back in February, when vol was, to your earlier point, 14. And you said it's an ominous sign. I agree with you. And what else is an ominous sign is the fact that our we don't like the same baseball teams. We've been very clear. I don't want to go down that path necessarily. Although nice win by your Mets. Yeah. And this Peterson kid looks like, maybe you found something amongst some of the debris of the season.
It's very nice of you to be spending so much time focused on our team when I would just, if I were you, I think right now you should just be getting your rotation in order. Playoffs are next week. And I know, but that's not what we're talking about, right? I feel like you had something else to say.
What I was going to say was, we share the same love of a football team, the New York
Yes,
Giants, who go into this Sunday against the very injured, limping San Francisco 49ers.
Is this a must win?
I hate saying it, but is it a must-win game week 3 in the NFL season?
Well, there is no such thing, and there is no such thing for this Giants team where we're going to be measuring performance this year, much in the way I think Mets fans measure performance, which is relative victories and competitiveness on the field. Although I do think my Mets are maybe one player away. That's all, by the way, one player away. I think when you think about the football giants, you have a few important pieces of progression you need to see, whether it's the quarterback seat. This defense looks like they might be able to hold some people. And I think if you look at the rest of the division, once again, it's really hard to tell what's what into week 3. But the NFC East looks like there could be a lot of NFC least in it.
So here you go. I'm going to leave you on this, and this is an opportunity in 5 or 6 weeks from now to eviscerate me, but I'll tell you that the Saquon injury might be the galvanizing point of the season.
I knew you were going to do this.
This team rallies around each other and rattles off. They have 14 games left. Let's say they rattle off the next 9 of 14, finish the season 9-7, somehow magically find their way into the playoffs, and then, hey, you never know.
Well, this is first of all, it's very possible that the team could at least, especially the offense, look to other ways of becoming more consistent without what seemingly was one of the best running backs in the league. But it also goes to show why you're never really relying on a running back for your team, because it's so fragile. But yeah, I like that. I like the galvanizing force, and I like us coming together here as New Yorkers, hoping that maybe there's something here. And by the way, I want your Yankees to do well. I really do. In fact,
you do.
I live in New York City. It's a tough time for New York. I'd love the Yankees to be the proud warriors that I just don't know. Is there one guy?
You do this right at the end when you know we have no more time, because I know what you're doing here. It's a perfect setup for you. If they win, you say, see, I wanted them to win. If they lose, you ram it up my you-know-what. It's genius on your part, especially on a Friday when we only have 30 seconds left in the show. It's brilliant.
It's rare that I go out on a weekend, genius guy. Good luck to your Yankees. Got you again, and go Giants.